As in mood swings? For children?
Unfortunately, yes. In just 9 years, Dr. Biederman fueled a 40-fold boom in the number of children labeled with bipolar, most of whom were prescribed powerful antipsychotic drugs meant only for the most seriously mentally ill.
I had no idea.
The psychiatrist editing the DSM-4 admitted the DSM's part in creating the child bipolar fad.
Well, we learned some very, very painful lessons in doing DSM-4, but inadvertently, I think we helped to trigger 3 false epidemics. One for the childhood diagnosis of bipolar disorder.
Too late now, isn't it?
For many kids, yes. And since psychiatrists claim that mental disorders like bipolar can't be cured, psychiatrists and drug companies have made customers for life.
So it's a natural partnership.
Absolutely. Drug companies provide tons of research money to psychiatrists, who then come up with even more diagnoses to treat with psychiatric drugs.
Drug companies have become increasingly dependent on mental illness diagnoses in order to maintain their profit margins. And psychiatrists and increasingly clinical psychologists are more than happy to manufacture mental illness in order to make that happen. Hence, the increase in size of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders.
The strategy is how many people we can diagnose with a particular label that would be broad enough to include a ton of people in it. And the mentality behind that is the sale of the pharmaceutical drug, which eventually becomes the treatment.
These drug companies are making a lot of money, and they're spilling that money and sending that money to people that will help support their cause. So it's not a surprise at all that they have infiltrated so many of the committees within the DSM and so much of our own medical education.
Wait a minute. The drug companies have infiltrated the committees of psychiatrists deciding on what disorder to list in the next DSM?
On DSM-4, 56% of the committee members had personal financial ties to pharmaceutical companies, the very industry that stood to gain from the 115 extra diagnosable mental illnesses that were voted in.
So of course you see more diagnoses that will be treated with drugs.
And way more symptoms listed for each one.
The whole world is being made crazy, really. We have these proliferation of categories which have become more and more encompassing, encroaching in ordinary everyday life.
There isn't a human being on the planet who doesn't have at some point, if not several points, in a day or a week, distress. It's part of being human. But to say that because you have this distress, that you now are diseased.
If you take a god man in India who wanders around with a shawl and meditates for 17 hours a day, drinks rainwater and engages in some kind of spiritual or religious discipline or practice where he might roll on the ground for 100 miles to a holy place, people there don't persecute those individuals. They accept them as people engaged in religious practices. But here, if you took those same individuals in India and you had them walk across a campus in America, they would immediately be arrested and put into a psychiatric facility because they're manifesting psychosis. This varies by culture.
What do we want to straitjacket everybody? Is everyone going to be the same? What about people that do have a little bit odd behavior? Is a little odd behavior bad or dangerous? It's just different.
You want this thing to cover, all manner of aberrant human behavior. So if you can cover every bit of it, then you're going to have the best chance possible to a billable unit of service.
And by the way, just in case you don't fit into any of their categories, there's one more they can stick you with.
Naturally.
This is number 301.9.
312.9.
292.9.
Bipolar disorder, not otherwise specified.
Gender identity disorder, not otherwise specified.
Disorder of infancy, childhood, or adolescence, not otherwise
not
specified.
Otherwise specified.
Not otherwise specified. What the hell does that say? They don't know.
It's kind of like a catch-all.
It's the garbage can for the leftovers.
There's even a box for people that don't fit in the other boxes.
To me, it's insane.
This is like rubbish to me.
This is scary to me.
This is hackery, quackery, dockery.
That's pretty bad science if your categories are so weak that you need a miscellaneous category to pick up all the loose ends.
Yeah, like ADHD, not otherwise specified, eating disorder, not otherwise specified, mood disorders, not otherwise specified.
You can always use the NOS, the not otherwise specified diagnosis, and that's a billable service.
Not otherwise specified means that you're sort of at sea to some extent on the exact diagnosis, meaning it doesn't fit into any of the categories you've established.
Unspecified mental disorder. You see, that's considered a disorder. Having nothing wrong with you is now a disorder. That's what this says. Can you believe it?
No, I can't believe it. There's a category called unspecified mental disorder, as in, we're not describing it for you. That's a mental illness too?
It gets crazier. According to the DSM, you could also be diagnosed with a mental disorder it doesn't even list.
You're kidding.
Listen to this.
These diagnostic criteria and the DSM-4 classification of mental disorders reflect a consensus of current formulations of evolving knowledge in our field. They do not encompass, however, all the conditions for which people may be treated or that may be appropriate topics for research efforts.
It's even in the language of the introduction, it's basically saying we're trying to have a diagnosis to cover all the bases of anything that somebody could come in complaining about, which is, again, entirely backwards from how medical diagnoses are come to.
This DSM isn't even close to medicine, is it?
Nope, it's pure marketing.
God bless the insurance companies. You know, you get these multiple personalities at all insurance companies. Insurance billing, that's the big money right there.
Something still bugs me. If psychiatric treatment is so long, expensive, and ineffective...
I know. Who would be willing to spend such exorbitant amounts of money for psychiatric treatment that drags on for years, often for a lifetime, while delivering such lousy results?
Exactly. Who pays for all this?
Mostly government and private health insurance.
Right, insurance.
In fact, the psychopharma lobby has been very effective in getting laws passed forcing insurance companies to provide mental health insurance equal to regular medical insurance.
That's called mental health parity, right?
That's it. But economically, this has been a catastrophe.
So there's nobody who walks into a psychiatrist's office that isn't going to go out with a label. He's got 374 choices or so based on the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual list of symptoms. So he's got to fit you into one of those categories in order to get paid.
The DSM really should be called, how to bill the insurance companies, how to get money from the insurance companies. It's a list of codes, and there's a number for everything, and that number goes on an insurance form, and then you get payment for it.
The DSM is completely built into the system now because you can't get reimbursed by an insurance company unless there's a DSM diagnosis.
You know, a kid wets the bed, you can bill on that. They're going to have one called a skin picking disorder. You pick your skin, you can diagnose and bill on that. You know, you can always find a diagnosis and you'll always be able to bill.
A psychiatrist or psychologist can go through their book now and find a diagnosis code for just about anything. Everybody would fall into something that they could put a diagnosis on and fraud insurance companies.
What a racket!
You got it. Every year, the psychiatric industry uses the DSM to rake in $100 billion from the U.S. government and private insurance. And that's just one country.
I'm starting to realize just how much the DSM has pushed up the overall cost of medical treatment.
I know. The average insurance bill from psychiatrists is double that of general medical treatment.
And that raises what I have to pay for insurance.
Right, and it wastes taxes too. The Texas State Mental Health Insurance Program was almost bankrupted by one class of very expensive psychiatric drug, normally prescribed for bipolar disorder.
Wow, that's a lot of drugs.
Sure is. And on top of that, because DSM diagnoses are so arbitrary, another huge and costly problem is insurance fraud. Private psychiatric hospitals have been caught posing as stop smoking and weight loss clinics to get people to admit themselves.
Come with me.
paying recruiters $3,000 a head to funnel government insurance patients through their doors.
How many more you got coming? A bunch.
And holding patients inside as long as possible until their insurance coverage runs out.
And all this is for the insurance money?
Right. And once patients are enrolled, any diagnosis can be pulled out of the DSM to justify treatment. Check out this hidden camera footage from someone posing as a psychiatric hospital worker.
I'll say patient display. That's how my opening is always a classic. Patient display. He's sort of, what do you think? You think he's,
I thought, I've interacted with him a lot. I thought he's always appropriate. He's always...
But under behavior, what's some good words in here? He's not negative. He's sort of intrusive a little bit.
Not really.
He doesn't push limits anymore.
He's really actually intrusive.
He acts sort of anxious. Focus on the negative.
And why should we focus on the negative?
Because that's how they get paid. I mean, this is what they told me. I mean, you write what you want to write. I know I got to write for you. So I know what I have to write. You know what I mean? So that's why
why do you have to write it?
So this place can get paid. It's a business thing. It's not like I'm lying, but I always like pull the negative out. Like
you're supposed to. They tell you to.
What? The negative?
Pull the negative out.
You pull it out of them.
That can't be ethical.
It's not. And that's just the beginning of the fraud. Psychiatric providers have also been caught billing insurance companies for having them listen to music, watch television, or play bingo, charging for wake-up calls, theater tickets, or trips overseas, or for claiming to treat people who are in jail, in a coma, or even dead.
No.
Some psychiatrists have even been busted for having sex with their patients and billing it as therapy.
That's sickening.
As one insurance fraud director said, the extent of the fraud is limited only by the imagination.
I had no idea.
Not many do. Mental health fraud cheats insurers and taxpayers out of $5 billion every year in the United States alone.
They should arrest these criminals and throw away the key.